First thing you want to do is download the new Windows 10 optimization pack by me. This link will be down below in the description. After you download this, you'll need to extract it with 7-zip or WinRAR, and after that just double click on it, and in here you're going to see a lot of folders that I numbered so it's easy for you to follow. You want to start by the first folder, and in here before doing anything you want to double click on create a restore point. Then on the left, you want to scroll down till you find the drive that has system beside it, which means it's your boot drive. Click on it, then click create, and then you want to name the restore point, basically just anything, and then click create. After it's done, you can click OK, and now we have a system restore point in case you want to revert back for any reason. After you've done that, you want to now double click on uninstall apps you don't need, and in here make sure to uninstall every single program you don't use, and don't keep anything that you don't use just chilling right there for no reason. Also, if you have pre-installed apps and bloatware, then you can follow my debloating guide. Its link will be down below in description. It basically guides you on how to clean Windows from pre-installed programs. So after you've uninstalled all the apps you don't need, you can exit out of settings, and now you want to double click on 3 startup apps, and in here basically make sure to disable everything unless there is a program like MSI Afterburner that you need to auto start to apply your overclock. But other than that, please make sure to disable everything else, because this can help speed up your system a lot. So after you've disabled every program you don't need starting up automatically, you can just exit out of Task Manager, and now you want to double click on 4 autoruns. Autoruns is basically a program that shows you every little thing that starts as soon as your PC launches. In here you want to go into the log on tab and basically just uncheck everything you don't need launching when you open your PC, just as we did in Task Manager. After that you can go into the everything tab, and if you feel pretty confident about what you're doing and you're sure you're not going to mess anything up, you can disable whatever you want to prevent it from launching as soon as your PC starts. So after you're done in here, you can just exit out from autoruns, and now you want to double click on 5 disable UAC. Click yes and then OK. We are disabling UAC because we're going to run some batch files that won't run with UAC enabled. So after you run it, you just need to restart your PC for it to apply, and when you do that, you just want to come back here. And when you're back here, you now want to double click on disable Windows updates. So I've already made a whole video about this, but as a sum up, Windows updates revert optimizations, and you definitely don't want to optimize your whole PC every time Windows updates. And also these updates worsen performance as Windows keeps putting out updates that just ruin gaming performance. And lastly, you definitely don't want a random update just running at the middle of your game, since that can ruin your ping and gameplay overall. So simply you just want to double click on it, then it's gonna disable the Windows Update service. Then it's gonna simply add the registry dwords that will disable automatic updates, and when it's done, simply just click enter or any key. And in case you want to enable updates back again, there is going to be a revert pack down below in the description. So after you're done with this folder, you can now go back and now go into the registry and BCD tweaks folder. And in here, let me start by explaining the BCD tweaks we're going to apply. So basically, there's a lot more BCD tweaks that you can do in here, but I'm honestly just putting the most effective ones and the ones that are just gonna turn out good for most people. So the first command basically disables dynamic tick, which is a power saving feature that causes latency issues if enabled, so obviously we disable it. And then for this command, this will basically make sure that HPET, also known as High Precision Event Timer, is disabled, which lowers latency quite a lot. But you need to have HPET enabled in BIOS, because if you don't, then you might get stutters. If you never went into BIOS or disabled HPET there, then you're fine. And if you don't have HPET in BIOS, then you're fine as well, since that means it's automatically enabled. Lastly, for the disable synthetic timers command, this one pretty much just explains itself. It will disable synthetic timers, which helps out a ton with latency, will make your mouse feel much more smoother, and will also reduce stuttering. So to apply that, you simply just want to double click on it. It's gonna say operation completed successfully for 2 commands, and for the HPET command it might say error not found, which means HPET is disabled already. So after that, you can exit out of command prompt. And now for the registry tweaks, registry file. And in here I basically start by disabling power throttling. So this feature is supposed to improve power consumption by reducing the amount of power a process can use. Sometimes it does that for games, which decreases performance, so we disable it with this registry dword. And then for the MMCSS tweaks, probably everyone knows these tweaks by now, and just recently I found out from a really good tweaker called Timecard that disabling network throttling index higher the PC latency. Well, as it's already known, disabling it improves your network performance, but that comes at the cost of increased DPC latency, which in the case of gaming is more important. So in here I'm just putting the default value, which is going to be best for DPC latency. Then for system responsiveness, this will basically allow games to utilize more than 80% of CPU usage if they need to, which will improve performance. Then for these ones, they basically are hiring your GPU priority to specific games, which will improve performance. And then for disable full screen optimizations globally, so this will basically prevent desktop composition, also known as DWM, from interfering with your game, which will make your game in exclusive full screen mode, which improves input lag and makes your game much more smoother. For it to work though, you need to be playing in full screen mode in your game settings, and also you need to disable full screen optimizations on the game extension file by just opening your game and then right clicking on your taskbar and click Task Manager, and then in here simply just right click on your game. I don't have any game open right now, so I'm just going to do OBS Studio. You just want to right click on it and click Open File Location. Then you want to right click on the file it highlighted, click Properties, go into the Compatibility tab, check Disable Full Screen Optimizations, then click Change High DPI Scaling Behavior and check Override High DPI Scaling Behavior, click OK and then click OK. But I definitely don't want to do that for OBS, so I'm just gonna put it back. Also keep in mind that exclusive full screen doesn't work on DirectX 12 games, which is really unfortunate. To make sure that your game is in exclusive full screen mode, you can open your game and then try using your volume keys to higher or lower your volume, and if it shows the volume bar on the game, then that means you're not in exclusive full screen mode, but if it doesn't, then you're good. After that, for the decrease processes kill time and menu show delay, there is nothing really to explain here. It simply just lowers the amount of time it takes to end a process or a service, and will simply just make Windows feel a lot more responsive. After that, for disable auto maintenance, so this is basically a process that runs every day randomly while you're using your PC, can run updates and consume your PC resources while you're playing games, which all can decrease performance. And then finally, for disable hibernation, we just disable it since it causes a ton of instability issues. So now to apply all that, you simply just want to double click on the file, click yes and then OK. And now you want to go back and now go into the Windows settings folder. So before I explain what it does, I just want to say that if you're a tweaker or optimizer that is going to use or redistribute this registry file in any way, please give me proper credit since I've worked on it for literally months. This rec file will basically optimize every single setting in here that needs to be changed, which can save you all a ton of time. I've worked on it for a couple of months, but at the end of the day it was worth since this can help you all out. So now let me explain what the settings in it do. So starting off by the Accounts tab, it's gonna disable settings syncing since you don't want features like that just running randomly out of nowhere. And then it goes into the Personalization tab and disables transparency, which will make Windows feel more responsive